Hey, it's David again at 12 Oaks. Welcome back. Glad to have you. We're going to talk about annual color today, seasonal color. All right, one of the first differences that you would need to know is the difference in a perennial and an annual. A lot of you may already know this, but the annual lives its entire life cycle from seed to seed in one season. So it will bloom the entire season of spring, summer into fall. A perennial will live year after year, so it will come back. It may die back to the ground in the winter, but in the spring it's going to come right back up, and it's going to come year after year after year. So the most beautiful landscapes are designed, not decorated. Some of those principles of designs are things like balance and scale, repetition, sequence, keeping it simple. So if you call 12 Oaks to do a landscape design for you, one of the things that we keep in mind that is extremely important within any landscape design is a focal point. You always want to make that focal point right towards, say, your front door or your entrance of the driveway. That's something that is very easily accomplished with annual color. That gives you this big burst of color, and your eye is naturally drawn towards that area. So when we draw a design, we leave certain spots in the landscape open for those particular items, say annuals or perennials, and that will help to create that focal point that you're looking for. So as we talked about, there are annuals and perennials. One of the reasons to plant annuals maybe over perennials would be that season-long bloom that we talked about. A perennial is going to come up, like a daylily is going to come up, and it's going to bloom for maybe a month. Once it is done blooming, all you have is the foliage. The foliage may look interesting and look good, but the annuals actually give you that season-long color, and it's really going to give you that wow factor and that pop in areas that you want it. Color is a really important design element, and I think that's something that most people probably look at individually without looking at the other design elements. But I'm going to go into a little bit of some of the things that you want to look for when you're looking for color. I think when you go into a nursery and you want to purchase some plants, it's really not a bad idea to bring a color wheel with you. Color is extremely important, but it is subjective. So you can use a color wheel to help make some pleasing combinations. Complementary color schemes are created by choosing two colors that are opposite on the color wheel. So for example, red and green, or purple and yellow. Because these colors being exact opposites, they offer extremely high contrast and have a very high impact. So analogous color schemes are created by choosing hues that are next to each other on the color wheel. So for example, blue-green, green, and yellow-green. Try and place your plants in groups or masses as well if you can. So don't try and scatter out all different varieties. You know, one plant, say a begonia in this spot and a verbena right next to it. You try and do it in masses if you can.